Hi, everybody. Welcome to Take Your Medicine. I am Tobi Blake, and I'm sitting in front of the Auntie trees again. It is definitely a comfort spot for me. I love it here. I made myself some cacao this morning, and I am kind of feeling the buzz of it. It's interesting when you don't have caffeine much. Even a little cacao makes me feel like a little buzzy. But it's so good and it always opens my heart. I put cayenne pepper and cinnamon and nutmeg and turmeric and vanilla, lots of good stuff in it. Anyway, I recently purchased a San Pedro cactus and I'm very excited about that. And then I let it sit for a while, get used to our space. And then recently I cut it in a few places to propagate it and to plant more. The cactus expert that I bought it from at the cactus farm explained to me how to do it. And oh my gosh, when I cut it and looked at the end, it was a perfect star. It was so beautiful. Uh, and when AJ and I were going to dinner last night to Mellow Mushroom, we were pulling into the parking lot and I was just looking around at all of the plants. First, at these big palm trees, how they start in the center and spring up and then have these layers, and how everything follows these same fractal patterns. Everything is made of this geometry. And when I first had these visions in front of these trees, yay! I saw so many triangles. And after these visions, my third eye was so opened up. Every time I closed my eyes for the next several months, I was having these crazy visuals. I was seeing this being that has many arms that moves that I continue to see. Sometimes when I'm using DMT, I see this being. I saw her recently on Easter. No, on 420. Oh yeah, that was Easter. Anyway, I saw so many triangles and I had no idea what that meant. I had never heard the term sacred geometry. I didn't even know what shamanism was or anything like that. Very, very disconnected when I was seeing all of these like magenta triangles that looked like they went for 1,000 years into eternity. And then I remember being at this party with a bunch of swingers in the Phoenix area because that used to be our main hangout. We're standing at this party and I meet this guy and he has all of these tattoos that have all of this, like these grids and geometry and whatnot. And I was telling him that I had seen all of this geometry, especially triangles, in my first visions with these trees. And he used the term sacred geometry. And that was the first time I had ever heard the term sacred geometry. Man, I had no idea what I was about to learn about the fabric of our being and and everything. And but that's how checked out and clueless I was about these things. I was very much not in any kind of awareness of the subtle energies around me, of any of it. And so 5 years later, that was in 2020, 5 years later, I see sacred geometry in everything, and everything follows the same laws. And if it doesn't fit within the laws, it creates distortion. And that distortion expands us and expands our intelligence. It's like data. We are beings who create distortion create emotion, create a misalignment, get ourselves lost, literally, so that we can expand our intelligence. That is what I feel like I've experienced, is that we go deeper and deeper into our soil as roots, because the tree grows brighter and evolves and expands the other way the deeper we go into the darkness. And so, again and again, I think we love to create new ways of expanding our intelligence and enjoying ourselves and creating. And as we do, an earth comes from a very simple planet to a very vast, diverse planet, and ever expanding. The species continue to diversify. We went from having rocks only to now having crystals on the earth, and from having only reptiles to now having beautiful, colorful birds, and only having, moss to having bright, beautiful flowers. Earth is, you know, evolving and becoming more feminine and more detailed. And as she does, we are too, because we are of her and of the stars. And after that reading on astro.com, I feel so much more connected to it all. I had like a kind of a prejudice against anyone who even looked at the science of astrology before I had these visions. And honestly, before recently, the first experience I had that blew my mind with astrology was in February of 2024 at a women's retreat I was invited to help out at in Sedona. And there was an astrologer there who gave me my first legitimate reading, and it was so cool, and she was so spot on, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know this woman, she is onto something, this is science. And Jesus Kate has shown me enough technologies for me to understand that my higher self and soul is connected to sciences and technologies that my human brain hasn't remembered yet, and as my astrological reading and then AJ's blows my freaking mind, I feel like it's tuning me into a higher awareness, that even the things that bother me about AJ or myself, or the things that we struggle with within our partnership, was like written in the stars. And it gives me a new perspective even on nature versus nurture, because the astro.com reading explained AJ to a T and explained me to a T, and it could have very easily just got us mixed up and given me AJ's reading, and it would have been highly inaccurate. Another experience I had that caused me to start to believe in astrology was actually a long time ago with my good friend Cindy. She was like, you've got to believe it, like it's real. And I'm like, oh, it's bullshit, that's so stupid, and she said, okay, give me each of your children's signs, but don't tell me which child it is. So I gave her all 7, and she looked up the reading for each sign that I gave her and gave me the child spot on, 7 for 7. And I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. How could she do that? These signs must have some kind of accuracy to them. So I am blown away by the beauty all around me. The synchronicities are getting more and more and more mind blowing. It is so cool to be tuned into the magic of it all. Everything is like vibrating at a higher frequency. It is such an interesting time to be alive. There are so many more disclosures happening. people having experiences with UFOs, whistleblowers talking about their experiences with extraterrestrial life and, vehicles. I myself did see a giant metal UFO in my backyard way, 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 way back in the day when I was pregnant with my daughter. Did not believe in any of this stuff, would have never in a million years imagined that. It freaked me out, but it happened. And so it's an exciting time to be alive. I have flown through portals. I have had some very, very cool experiences, and I am excited to continue sharing it all. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I was driving recently, and it was after a life coaching session on my way home. And I was wanting to clear my energy of the session. And so I was doing ohms. And so I'm driving saying om. And right in front of me passes a beautiful coyote crossing the road. I just love that kind of thing. It's so beautiful. So, so beautiful. What else? I have my notes here. Oh, there are a couple of things about Thomas that I was going to talk about, and it doesn't feel right today, so I will save those. But I did want to mention that I have been feeling called to dimethyltryptamine recently. My journeys have led me to some really cool experiences, and I have had some incredible experiences with DMT already, but not the pure molecule of 5-MeO. And recently I sat down with a couple who are practitioners of this beautiful medicine. They call it the God molecule in, this world. And it is a profoundly life changing experience every time anybody does it. If you're not smart about it, you can, really traumatize yourself. So it's one that we don't take lightly. And sat with this couple over Zoom for over an hour talking about their protocol and their experiences, and it was a really cool and enlightening conversation. I have learned some amazing lessons from beings on DMT. And this one being that seems to be there so frequently, it's like when I use the medicine, I feel my entire existence fade away. Every aspect of my being fades away, and I am nothing but consciousness. And I am in the space with this being, and the being is the space, and I cannot separate myself from this being. And she's feminine and beautiful and fluid and ever changing and made of the most beautiful geometry and colors, and it is a really, really cool experience. But for the first time with this sacred medicine on Easter, AJ and I got to experience, or at least I did, AJ was kind of my grounder, coming out from that experience, and the being was in the room with us, just the same as I can see Jesus, Kate, Ebert, ayahuasca, Thomas. Their energy looks very unique to each of them, and it is beyond 3 dimensions, and it is so beautiful. And she was putting her energy into my body. My entire body was in convulsion. My teeth were chattering, and she was healing my body. I had so much beautiful energy after that, I was like, I don't know who this being is. Still, I don't know, but I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm very grateful, very, very grateful for these experiences. And they they give me new information every time that I don't even understand is there until I'm in some kind of conversation or something, and it feels like it's coming out of me, and I don't know where it's coming from. I've learned to recognize though these downloads when they're happening. I mean, it's a very beautiful vibrational experience, and since having all of these experiences, I just feel like I see patterns and an order to everything. And it gives me so much peace and harmony, and my nervous system feels so much calmer. Even just the understanding that emotion is energy and motion, that we create this dissonance, we pluck the strings of our hearts in order to create new vibrations and new experiences, and it's okay and it's good. Heartbreak and sadness and devastation and tragedy, all of it is just these beautiful strumming of the strings of our lives and our existences and our intelligences, and they expand us, and we enjoy it, you know. Reality is like on the other side of this dream. This is all real. It's all real, but this isn't what we think it is, you know? It's all beautiful. It's all good. Dying, like Ram Dass says, is just like taking off a tight shoe. Just like, I feel relieved every time I leave my body, and it feels like a crazy experience to get back in my body. Every time I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm a fucking human. This is wild." You know? So we might as well just enjoy it for all that it is. It's a roller coaster, it's a thrill, all of it. The suffering, the madness, the pain, all of it we label as bad or good, but all of it is a massive symphony of creation that has so much beauty. And it's like a choose your own adventure. So truly, life is what you make of it. So get out there and be weird and fuck some stuff up a little bit. Not in a bad way, but in a way that just like makes it interesting and fun. Do it with love, do it with kindness, break up the patterns, weird some people out. It's good, it's medicine, you know? Let's not be so normal. Normal is what we're here to break out of. Ah! We need to scream more. Do it. We all need to do it. I literally just don't want the park guards called on me. My kids and I have been kicked out of this park plenty of times for being naughty. At this very park, we had the cops called on us not that long ago. I was giving a lesson to my children on time management and priorities and being our healthiest self. And then the park closed, and we decided to, it might have been my idea, to hop the fence and play hide and seek and see how long we could, go till we got caught. And whoever got caught last won. And Anna won. She was up deep inside the slide. But oopsie, got the cops called on us. I like to break the rules. I think it's important. But we have rules about breaking rules. If it could hurt someone's feelings, we don't do it. If it's going to cause mass disruption, we don't do it. And if it's going to be a threat to anybody's safety, we don't do it. Those are the three rules. It did cause a little disruption to have the cops called on us, But honestly, it made everyone's life more interesting. Everyone had a story to tell. We were friendly to the cops. We tried our best. It's fun. Who cares? You know, live a little. It's great. All right. I think that's all for me today. I will save these stories about Thomas for another time. We love you, Thomas. I love you, Jesus Kate. I love you, trees. I love you all. Thank you so much for being with me in this car. um, I know it's not the most exciting, but look at these clouds and the light shining through. It actually is really beautiful. So thank you so much. And I guess I can show my eyes too. It's hard for me. I've been wearing sunglasses since I was 11 years old because my eyes are so sensitive to the sunlight. But Jesus Kate has told me many times to take off your sunglasses and to practice looking at the light, not looking directly at the bright sun, but opening your eyes and being in the light, because there are times I walk outside and I literally can't open my eyes. They just feel like they're, you know, plus I still have sleepies in my eyes, probably from sleeping. But anyway, thank you for being with me. I appreciate it. I love you all. Have a wonderful day and namaste.